Welcome to this explainer. We've literally all been there. You're typing away on your ASUS laptop, you go to move your cursor, and nothing. Total paralysis. Your touchpad is completely frozen. And of course, you don't have a spare USB mouse just sitting around. The immediate panic sets in, right? Your heart rate spikes. You start wondering how much a repair is going to cost, or how on earth you're going to finish that urgent project. Well, take a deep breath. Today, we're going on a calm, safe troubleshooting journey to find a quick, simple fix and get that cursor moving again.
Okay, let's dive into this. That sheer frustration you're feeling right now, it's completely valid. But before we jump to the absolute worst-case scenario, we have to ask the ultimate question. Is this a software glitch or a genuine hardware failure? Like, is your machine actually broken, or is it just incredibly confused right now? The good news is, more often than not, it's just confused. To figure that out, we're going to follow a structured 5-step game plan. Quick basic fixes, deep settings check, update drivers, restore and reset, and hardware failure signs. Having a solid plan definitely lowers the anxiety, so let's just jump right in.
Starting off with Section 1, Quick Basic Fixes.
Listen, do not rush to the repair shop just yet. Before you give in to the urge to literally smash the laptop, try these 3 simple things to build up some tech confidence. First, look at your top row of keys. You're looking for a little touchpad icon, usually on F6 or F9. Hold down the Fn key and press it. Sometimes you just accidentally disabled it. If that doesn't work, step 2 is heading into Windows settings. Since you don't have a mouse, here's a pro survival tip for you. Press the Windows key plus I to open settings. Use your tab key to move through the menus, your arrow keys to navigate, the spacebar to toggle switches, and enter to click. Navigate to Bluetooth and devices, then touchpad, and just make sure that toggle is switched to on. Finally, step 3. Unplug any external USB or Bluetooth mouse. Some ASUS laptops are literally programmed to automatically turn off the touchpad the second they detect an external mouse. Kinda crazy, but true.
Moving right along to Section 2, Deep Settings Check.
So if those quick wins didn't bring your cursor back, it's time to venture a bit deeper. Think of me as your tech-savvy guide holding your hand through the scary menus. Our first stop is the My ASUS app. ASUS laptops are unique because they have their own exclusive control center running alongside Windows. Just hit your Windows key, type My ASUS, and hit Enter. Look under Customization or Hardware Settings and check if there's a specific touchpad lock activated. Sometimes this ASUS-specific software will just completely override your Windows settings. Oh, and if your laptop has that fancy number pad built directly into the touchpad, check if that feature is turned on, because that can definitely cause a conflict that freezes your standard mouse movements.
Next up, we open Device Manager in Windows. I know it sounds super intimidating, but it's really just a list of all the parts inside your computer. Under the categories Human Interface Devices or System Devices, you're hunting for 3 specific target drivers: the ASUS Precision Touchpad, the Microsoft Input Configuration Device, or the Intel Serial I/O I2C Host Controller. Now, what's really interesting about this list is that last one. It's a chipset driver. And believe it or not, if that Intel chip driver gets confused, your touchpad stops communicating entirely.
When you find those drivers, you and your laptop are looking for 2 specific visual clues. If you see a tiny down arrow next to the driver name, your computer manually disabled it. Just right-click it or use your keyboard menu button and hit Enable Device. Easy. But if you see a yellow exclamation mark, you've got a software conflict. Your system is basically screaming for help. For this, you'll want to select Update Driver, or honestly even better, select Uninstall Device and then just restart your computer. Windows will automatically try to reinstall a fresh, working version when it boots back up.
All right, Section 3, Update Drivers. If that device manager trick didn't work, we're escalating things for those stubborn laptops. So the crucial point is, you absolutely must follow this strict sequence to maintain your system stability. Do not jump out of order. Phase 1. Run a standard Windows update and restart. Honestly, so many touchpad issues happen just because a previous Windows update was stuck and needed one more reboot to finish. Phase 2. If that fails, go directly to the official ASUS support website. Type in your exact laptop model and download the official pointing device and chipset drivers. Never, ever use third-party driver websites. And finally, Phase 3 is the BIOS update.
I need to pause right here, because updating the BIOS is not a casual step. As our source material explicitly warns, BIOS is a deep hardware intervention and can cause serious motherboard damage. This is the absolute danger zone of software troubleshooting. If you have to do this because literally nothing else has worked, you must keep your laptop plugged into wall power the entire time. If your battery dies halfway through a BIOS update, you could permanently brick your motherboard.
So please, proceed with extreme caution.
Let's look at Section 4, Restore and Reset.
If fresh drivers didn't solve the issue, we enter the final heavy hitters of software troubleshooting, and this brilliantly illustrates the two distinct paths you can take. First, System Restore. This is basically a time machine. If your touchpad was working fine yesterday but broke today after an update, System Restore safely rolls your computer back to yesterday's state, all while keeping your personal files totally safe. On the other hand, we have Reset PC. This is the nuclear option, guys. You use this for deep, unfixable registry errors or malware. It wipes the slate completely clean, which means you absolutely must back up all your data to an external drive or the cloud before you even think about clicking this button.
Finally, Section 5, Hardware Failure Signs.
Okay, let's bring it back to reality for a second. If you've systematically gone through every single software trick and that cursor is still dead, we need to determine if you're dealing with a physically dead component. Let's move to and see how this builds a case for either side. If your issue happened right after a Windows update or a clumsy keyboard shortcut, it is almost certainly software. But if you have a history of dropping your laptop bag a little too hard, spilling coffee near the keyboard, or if the touchpad completely vanishes from the device manager list no matter what you do, yeah, that points heavily to actual physical damage.
You really need to look out for these physical red flags. Are the actual mechanical left and right click buttons physically jammed or completely unresponsive? Have you lost just the multi-touch features, like two-finger scrolling, while the standard pointing sort of works? Or maybe the connection is intermittent, like the cursor flickers and jumps wildly, but only when you press down really hard. If you're experiencing these, it is time to hang up your DIY troubleshooting hat. Please do not try to crack open the laptop case yourself. It's time to take it to an authorized warranty center or a professional repair shop so they can check the internal ribbon cables and the trackpad module itself.
Which brings us to our final thought today. A super stressful tech failure, like a paralyzed touchpad, really forces us to ask, when was the last time you actually maintained your laptop? And I don't just mean wiping the screen. I mean cleanly updating software, backing up your data, and treating the physical hardware with care. Our devices hold our entire digital lives, and honestly, sometimes a frozen cursor is exactly the wake-up call we need to show our tech just a little more respect. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Now go rescue that touchpad.